What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wait What Are We Talking About podcast, episode 172. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011. You can drop a follow over there, get notified when we go live to record the podcast. But if you can't catch it live, that is a-okay. Go over to YouTube and podcast services the very next week, where it drops, or is put out topic by topic and drops as one big video in MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show, whether it's a like, review, a share, whatever it is. It may seem small, but it does help the channel grow, so we'd appreciate you guys if you took the time to do that. Today, we're talking a whole lot of WWE, whole lot of wrestling again, as we're going to be talking for our two topics. We're going to be talking about Backlash, which as of recording happened last night, and we're going to talk about the WWE draft for this year, which, once again, as of recording, takes place fully in terms of changes tomorrow. So we'll have to see how things wind up for that. But yeah, a lot of wrestling talk. So let's jump into Backlash, like I said, for our first topic. If you guys enjoyed or watched the show, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely think this was quite a standout for, quite a lackluster or at least not important feeling pay-per-view in quite some time. And there definitely could have been some, not outside factors, but some extra factors that kind of added into making the night special and feel special. But overall, I thought the night was a lot of fun. Matches were good, and, we got some fun moments out of it. And overall, I think it went really, really well. So, the night consisted of 7 matches. We had the Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Io Sky. We had Rollins versus Omos. We had the U.S. Championship match with Theory defending against Lashley and Bronson Reed. We had the SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. We had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest going at it in the San Juan Street Fight. We had the Bloodline going against Zayn Owens and Matt Riddle. And then Cody Rhodes going against Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, overall it was a fun night. And I guess, what's the term? I don't know what I'm trying to think of. Let's get something out of the way. I don't know. Puerto Rico. You guys crushed it and were amazing. This definitely added a lot to the show. Obviously, I think the first time ever they've been there for a pay-per-view. I know they've definitely probably done tours there and whatnot, but the audience and the crowd was insane in terms of their volume and their interactiveness with the show. And it definitely added a lot to, the whole night in terms of feeling. Like, it felt like a Mania or even crazier. And, the only thing I can think of in terms of, like, comparison, maybe a more accurate comparison, would be like something like Clash of the Castle. But I think this even surpasses that, where it's a foreign market, WWE doesn't go there all the time, and if they do, once again, it's a tour. It's a quick, week thing. It's either just a bunch of house shows, or if they do a live show, it's one, and it usually happens once in a blue moon every year, if every year. But seeing the Puerto Rico crowd for the event last night was insane. These guys were incredibly loud, especially with SmackDown being in the same building, it seemed like, the night before. These guys brought it again. And we're definitely behind, the wrestlers had their favorites, had the people they were cheering against. Overall, just there to have a great time. Pretty much brought that energy the entire night, which is surprising too, in terms of just wrestling events in general, whatever show brand it is. There's always that dip. You have your high spots or high points in the opening match and the main event. But then there's usually matches that dip down that are kind of like, not filler matches, but they feel like that kind of rest spot. And for all 7 matches here, the crowd was involved heavily, I would say. If I had to pick one or two that was maybe slightly lower than the rest, it might have been the U.S. Championship. And probably the U.S. Championship match was probably the lowest of the night. But even then, they were still involved. It was still loud. And it just, once again, it added something to the show. So I think big props to the crowd and everybody who went to the show. Just made it more exciting, especially, or even as a viewer from home. just like it felt more energetic, it felt more engaging to watch, and just added a whole layer to it. So hopefully, WWE keeps note of this, whether it is obviously going back to Puerto Rico or just in general, like other markets. Like I know they've been trying starting last year to do it a little bit more. Once again, as we talked with Clash of the Castle, I know they're going back to the UK for Money in the Bank. Hopefully this opens their eyes to like, hey, maybe we should do more special or televised events at different venues. Not that doing them here obviously is bad, because obviously it's more cost effective in terms of travel and moving everything from a production standpoint. But obviously the people, wherever they are definitely yearning for content or want that content near them, and they will show up and they will show out, as we are seeing with AEW in Wembley Stadium for, was it All In? Like tickets are going crazy for that. So like with these bigger companies venturing out, not taking advantage, that sounds bad, but going to these markets where these shows aren't as readily available or to the audiences, and kind of rewarding them, I guess, for their, not loyalty, but giving back to them. I don't know if that sounds right either, but showing up for them, they'll get that energy in return. I'm sure financially they are making quite a good business transaction as well, but keep that in mind and maybe make some more of these events, because as we saw, it was special for the crowd and special for some of the talent, obviously, who were going, as they had roots there. So I think it was a good move overall to have the event there, and glad to see it was so successful in terms of turnout and energy-wise and everything like that. So let's break down the matches. So we opened up with the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca defending her title against Io Sky and ultimately defeating Io. The ladies crushed it. I'm a little surprised in terms of layout why this was first. Not that the two can't show up or show out, obviously, because they crushed it tonight. Just a little bit confused in terms of where matches were placed, and we'll talk about that more later. But the two put on a great match. Io definitely showed out in terms of like Io that we've seen in the past with the Black and Gold brand, and may have seen glimpses of since she's been on the main roster, but good to see her all-out performance for this one. Came very close to winning the title, and the crowd was very behind her. I think they enjoy Bianca, but unfortunately they were cheering for Io way more, and sometimes even booing for Bianca, which was a little odd. But they were ready for a change. It seemed like Io had it in the bag until, unfortunately, Damage Control did come in and try and help a little too much. Dakota did land a good kick on Bianca that seemed to lead to the win. Bayley tried to help out a little extra by holding Bianca's hair down outside of the ring, but the ref did see it, caused a little bit of distraction, a timing mishap. Io did the moonsault onto her, missed, and then Bianca was able to hit the kiss of death and retain her title. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's been something we've talked about, and I'm sure a lot of wrestling media has talked about, is like Damage Control, when are they going to break up? And it's on the cusp of it. Thought after Mania that would happen, but it seems like now would be the time. Not that I particularly want it, because I like the group together, but I do just like all the talents. It was a matter of like either result I could see it. If Io wins, then she does the whole, oh, I'm better than you guys. Obviously, I accomplished this. When Bayley, you couldn't, break up there. Or now with like, I had it in the bag and I had it won, and then you guys came out anyway. Like, it's probably at its breaking point come Friday, if not sooner, or not sooner, but soon. We'll see them officially split up. I don't know if all three will go their individual ways, or if Sky and Kai will stay together as a team and then turn on Bayley. We'll just have to wait and see how the official division is between Damage Control. But anyways, match overall was great. Bianca does retain here, so she'll be part of the whole fun swapping of the belts, which we'll talk, I guess, about more in topic 2. Next we had Rollins and Omos. Rollins did pick up the win here. This one was fine. Crowd was into it just because they were singing Rollins' theme pretty much the entire match. Omos looked strong, which, in my opinion, just because I'm not a big fan of that style of wrestling, looked good, looked better. Rollins had to pull out all the stops, tried to curb stomp. Curb stop did not work as Omos was able to block it until eventually Rollins was able to get the upper hand and did like a super curb stomp off the top. A little scary in that landing, if I'm not going to lie. Just the left leg coming down almost straight-legged. But Rollins will pick up the win here, giving him that momentum for potentially that World Championship tournament. They'll be starting, I think, tomorrow as of recording. So yeah, Rollins picks up the win. I'm not sure entirely what the plan is with Omos, and I don't know if we want to keep him this threatening giant like we're supposed to kind of believe he is. He's got to start picking up some wins and not just squashes. So hopefully we could do something with him and figure out a positive direction, I guess. U.S. Championship match was next. Triple threat. Austin Theory going against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. This one was very predictable. There was a glimmer of hope of like, oh, there's a chance a title change could happen with the whole draft thing, which I know I keep alluding to, but that is technically topic 2. But like, Theory's going to SmackDown, so we need a mid-card title on SmackDown. I didn't remember where Lashley was going, but Lashley is going to SmackDown as well, so it was like, oh, maybe they will change the title here. But was not the case. The 3 put on a good match, wasn't super long. We had some cool spots from Bronson doing a springboard splash outside onto Lashley. We got to see Theory show off his strength picking up Bronson, trying to hit the A-Town down, did not hit it, but still some strength shown by him. We got a moonsault to finish by Bronson Reed, also impressive. I don't think I've seen him throw that out there before. Led to the spear by Lashley. Theory picks up Lashley, throws him out, and picks up the win off of Lashley's spear onto Bronson. So Theory would retain here. Short, sweet, good match in terms of keeping the action going and keeping all the moving pieces involved. So solid there. But we'll have to see where Theory's title reign continues, or how it continues as he swaps brands and goes forward. Next, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley defending against Zelina Vega. Another one kind of that was very predictable just because Rhea just got this title and we want to keep her looking strong going forward, unless we're going to pull some giant swerve because Zelina hasn't wrestled all that much. Match was good. Zelina obviously got a huge ovation from Puerto Rico. I don't think she was born there, but at least her family ties are from there. So great reaction for her. Definitely, deserve those flowers and get that recognition. Happy to see her get that moment. But yeah, Rhea, no surprise here, won after hitting the Riptide. We had glimpses of some moves from Zelina. She hit 619 onto Rhea, hit a Meteora. Shout out to Sasha Banks or Renee for that. And then, yeah, Riptide finish. So nothing surprising there. The crowd reaction was the biggest part probably of this match. Rhea was taunting them the whole time, which was good, so she was playing into that. But yeah, nothing really nothing crazy in terms of results here. So we get the women's championship. So you get the kind of home crowd feel of, oh, Zelina's here, get the hometown pop, whatever it is. Then the next match, we had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in the street fight. Questionable booking decision, if you're going to ask me, of putting this match here. I thought it was weird. I thought this would be main event just because obviously Bad Bunny's supposed to be the quote-unquote host, or obviously the big draw as being the celebrity. I thought he would be main, along with Damian having roots in Puerto Rico, I believe being born there. Would have given both of them the quote-unquote rub and put that last, and also to split up the home crowd reactions, but no, we did a back-to-back. But the crowd in there, all the credit to them, they were there. They definitely showed up and showed out for this match. They were incredibly into it, or insanely into it, cheering the whole time, singing Bad Bunny's theme when he came out, which was insane, and just, what's the term? were just on the line, hooked, line, sinker for every move that they delivered and everything that they did. And these two did a great job. I don't know how long they went. They went a decent amount of time. But solid match from both of them. Bad Bunny would ultimately pick up the win. But we had a lot of good shots with obviously weapon stuff, and Damien put in Bad Bunny through some tables on the outside in the crowd. We saw Bunny Destroyer finish it. We saw Sliced Bread, which almost turned very scary. In first watch, it looked like Bunny lands directly on his head. In the replay, you can see that he's turned to the side, which is better. I don't know if he turned to the side or if Damien pushed him to the side as they noticed they weren't rotating enough. Either way, glad that he's safe and hopefully not feeling too much pain today. But glad they kept, everybody involved good to go. Props to both of those guys. They did very, very well. Obviously, we did get interference later on from Judgment Day prior to the Destroyer in the finish, which led to Mysterio coming out, which in my detective work, I have solved my own case theory here. But in watching the show, I was freaking out because I did not think that was Mysterio himself. So we saw Mysterio, in a backstage promo with Bunny earlier in the night, where he's wearing this Batman-esque mask, black mask, taller ear/logo pieces. He comes out for the interference later to beat up Dominic and Finn, and he has a totally different mask on. A lot of people online are making jokes like it looks like a Shark Boy mask. It's blue, and it had a mouth covering that kind of looked like teeth. And for some reason, I thought this was a fake Rey Mysterio. Looked smaller. The mask looked cheaper, like product-wise. Didn't look like a good mask. And this is the first time I've seen him with this mouth cover on. So I was very, very confused. Also, whenever we got camera shots on him, they didn't focus on him super duper long, and they seemed to stay away from him. But once again, stupidly, in my detective work, it seems like it was him. Tattoos all lined up on the arm. So I don't know why. I was just getting this weird feeling the whole time, like, I don't think that's Rey. Oh, maybe it is Rey. No, I don't think that's Rey. I don't know. It seemed very off. So Rey came down, beat up them. We got more assistance as our returning Carlito makes a surprise appearance, came down and helped out LWO, along with Savio Vega returning earlier in the night in the promo. And then officially the rest of the LWO, Santos and the Legado boys coming down and helping as well. As expected, it's a street fight. There's no DQ, so why wouldn't you get all the groups involved? Very surprising, obviously, Carlito and Vega there, but fun match overall. These guys crushed it. Bunny would pick up the win. But yeah, happy for both of them. Obviously, Bad Bunny wanting the pay-per-view there, being the host, all that jazz, but then Priest as well, being from there, getting that moment for himself was great as well. And then we got the Bloodline, Sikoa and the Usos against Zayn, Owens, and Riddle. We had the Bloodline picking up the win here. Kind of surprising, but not too much. It was a fine match. It was fine. Had some good drama between Sikoa and both Usos as Jimmy kind of played off as this, naive, we're still a team, we're a group, you do your thing, we'll do our thing, and we'll be fine. As Jay kind of grows more suspicious of Sikoa as he's kind of staring them down, giving them little side eyes here and there. The biggest takeaway from this match was Sikoa giving those glances to the Usos. He's been given some task from Roman to kind of pull out or, do this thing, and it seems like he needs to take care of the Usos, take care of his brothers, and it might be through physical means. So we see a little tension between them during the match. At one point, Solo does come in, spikes Kevin, gets grabbed by Jay on the shoulder to turn him around. Solo freaks out, grabs him by the throat and threatens the spike, and doesn't let go for a while, and is contemplating spiking him. Eventually doesn't, as Riddle will come in with a knee, I think. Leads to a whole exchange of big moves from all 6 men. Jay's technically legal. Gets bounced against the ropes, I believe, for something from Riddle. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly. Solo blind tags in. Riddle hits his move. Solo comes in, spikes Riddle, gets the pin for the win, and the Bloodline will pick it up. More cracks in the Bloodline. I don't know. A lot of the usual talk and discussion in terms of like, oh, the Bloodline's going to break up. Oh my God, it's going to happen. Something's going on. It's just a matter of if, not, or it's a matter of when, not if. Similar to Damage Control. I'm curious how this will play out because we were thinking maybe Solo was also on the, like on the bad side of Roman, like he was taking part of the blame too, but now it seems like he's filling a little bit more of this enforcer role and maybe will take care of the Usos. I'm not sure. He seems conflicted because biologically he's their brother, but not brother in name and kayfabe, ? So we'll have to see if he's conflicted enough to do it or not do it, and if that will cause something, or if maybe they'll keep Solo on Roman's side so then they can do Usos versus Solo and Roman. Who knows? Time will tell with this. But yeah, interesting events playing out or transpiring during that match, as the Bloodline will pick up the win. And then we got our main event, ? Of Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. It was good. I'm surprised I'm saying that for a Brock Lesnar match, that it was quote unquote good. It was better than a typical Brock match of 800 F5s and we're done in 3 minutes. There were, don't get me wrong, still F5, still crossroads, still disaster kicks or whatever the hell he calls it. Still a lot of suplexes. But overall better storytelling in their match. Cody jumps Brock at the beginning before the bell even rings, hits him with stairs, hits him with chairs, hits him a little bit with a table. Then they finally get in, do a little bit of the match, back and forth, totally fine. Corner turnbuckle gets exposed during an exchange. Brock picks up on this, puts Cody in said corner, goes to charge him. Cody gets out of the way, headbutts that ring post, surprisingly pretty hard, gets a nasty gash right on the center of his forehead, so he's busted open, heavily busted open. No gloves by the referee, odd choice, and no stitches or stoppage like our Finn match, so I think that was planned, or they were fine with it because Puerto Rico, ? I don't know, rules. So yeah, Brock gets open pretty big. The two continue their exchange. We get a double crossroads. Brock kicks out of that. Cody tries to keep fighting him, gets picked up in F5, kicks out of that. Brock goes for the Kimura lock. Oh my God, Cody's going to tap. And then Cody pops his hips, puts all of his body weight on Brock and his shoulders, 1, 2, 3 pin, and Cody picks up the win here. Little bit of a lackluster finish, not gonna lie. I mean, I appreciate from a Cody standpoint, like, oh, I'm smart enough to realize I can put the pressure here and, get the pin win for myself. But in terms of a person who's doing the submission, it just makes you look dumb. I get it every once in a while. It happens. Like we saw it a few months ago with Lashley. I think even with Brock. I don't know. I feel like just at this point, I'm not upset at that type of finish. I'm fine with that finish. But there should also be a realization from the person doing the submission of like, oh no, they are actively counting right now. Let me release said hold or at least try to fight out of this instead of just sitting here holding on to it like a moron while I'm getting pinned. So yeah, he wins. Great. We haven't lost complete faith on Cody Rhodes just yet. At least in terms of WWE standing. But I'm not sure if it's the strongest finish overall. I mean, in terms of hindsight, are we really going to look back and think about, oh, how did he win this match? No, but he did need this in terms of, obviously, the WrestleMania post results and how we're moving forward with this finish the storyline. Like, we got to keep Cody strong in terms of believability for when and if he does finally take down Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Championship, or whatever the fuck it's called. So a lot to say. So yeah, Cody picks up the win there. I know my selling of matches isn't great, but honestly, if you did not go watch Backlash, please do. The whole night, once again, was very exciting. I know I didn't sell it well. Night was very exciting. Crowd was intense and on fire the whole time. All the matches seemed very interesting due to their interactions, and as the match quality itself, it just, overall, the night felt very, very good and exciting and fun to watch, which is the most important thing. Didn't feel like there was dips or downs. If there was, like I said, it was the U.S. title match, just a little bit, not too much at all. But good show overall, good quality, and everybody got time, which was the big thing here too. Everybody got time to do what they wanted to. Nothing was super short. Nothing felt like a cheap ripoff or anything like that. While there were no title changes, everything was compelling. Yeah, it was good stuff overall. If for nothing else, go watch because of the crowd and for that insane drone shot they got that they pulled from SmackDown and the other drone shots that were there, because it looked very cool. Very, very cool. But Backlash, surprising pay-per-view in terms of just like, it's not one of the big four. Very exciting. Had a good time with it. And I hope you guys did as